Before going into the project, I would like to give a brief introduction about construction industry and the infrastructure related to it. Construction industry is one of the most rapid growing industries in India. Over 35 million people are under this sector. There are huge investments approaching this sector, and the construction equipment sector is also gaining importance, which thereby makes the importance of the industry. But when we closely observe the infrastructure related to it, it is mostly large closed volumes with somewhat temporary looking appearance. A building to which people can relate. And most of these buildings does not demonstrate any architectural merit. Coming to the working environment, the effect of heat, noise, work schedule, rest, pause are not being considered in these type of buildings. Design demonstration in the form of construction hub was undertaken to create a common platform for workers, students, engineers and other people related to construction sector. How is this construction hub benefiting the construction industry? This construction hub will have innovative workshops, construction skill training centers, tools and equipment retail store, which is like a supermarket for tools and equipments, testing labs, and an industrial area housing FAB Shop and a heavy vehicle garage, and an interesting pavilion to host events, workshops, exhibitions, etc. It was hard for me to find many live case studies, but I got to study a few of the buildings associated with industrial sector which portray architectural merit. Automated warehousing facility in Faridabad. This is an exposed brick structure which is energy intensive, sustainable and climate responsive, which we don't usually see in a warehousing facility. Coming to the Caseros warehouse in Argentina. Here the interior lies in contrast to the exterior. The use of skylight, the mezzanine and the minimalistic design gives a character to this warehouse. Then coming to the next building in Dirksen. Here the design originates from the desire to create a larger volume in relatable proportion combined with the search of optimum use of light. Here the architect has also tried to abstract sawtooth roof in the building. Then coming to the filter life factory. Here the architect has tried to create a youthful feel in the factory with the translucent surfaces and colorful details. The industrial materials, colorful details and a layering of transparent and translucent surfaces is applied consistently throughout the design. These buildings are industrial buildings, but they portray a lot of architectural merit. Coming to the program. The entire design can be segregated into public, educational and industrial. The public area will have retail store, pavilion, library, testing lab and DIY workshop. The educational area will have skill training center, and the industrial area will accommodate FAB shop and garage for heavy vehicles. The project will have free-flowing users as well as stagnant users. The free-flowing users will be the users coming to the retail shop right in the front, as well as those who are coming to take part in any event happening in the pavilion. The stagnant users will be the regular students and staffs in the site, and also the workers in the industrial area. Coming to the area analysis, the site has about an area of 5.2 acres and a built up of 7,624 meters square. The diagram below shows how the different areas are segregated in the built up. The site accommodates various activities. Coming to the construction skill development training center. So here the most important activity happens in the classrooms and the workshops. So here student gets to learn on electrical, scaffolding, painting and plumbing and welding. Coming to the FAB shop. The FAB shop has various activities in relation to the steel fabrication like cutting, welding, folding, etc. I have also listed down various machineries and environment fundamental requirements needed for a fab shop. Then coming to the library. So the library here in the hub will be mainly for the construction people, like those who are involved in the construction industry, like engineers, architects, students and skilled laborers. The next one is the DIY workshop. So here this is a workshop where people can themselves use the equipments available in this workshop and create their own furnitures with wood, metal, etc. They will have also accessibility to some of the modern machineries like 3D printing and laser cutting machines. Then comes the pavilion. The pavilion is a space where they can host exhibition, recruitment, workshops and even hands-on workshops. Then coming to the retail store. So this retail store is like a supermarket where people can get construction tools, hand tools, metal fabrication tools, power tools and material handling tools. Coming to the site analysis, location and neighborhood. The proposed site is just 7 km away from the Cochin International Airport and 32 km from the Ernakulam city. The site is located in Angamali, which is just 2 km away from National Highway 47, which thereby increases the viability of the site, since it is a construction related project. The site also has 3 engineering colleges and 2 architectural colleges within 13 km radius, which provides the site with an opportunity to expand the training center as well as in opening the hub as a learning platform for the students in the colleges. Site size and zoning. Site has an area about 5.2 acres and can have a coverage of 50%. The existing site already houses steel fabrication workshop, welding institute providing vocational training and warehouses for storage of construction materials and tools. So I have chosen this site which is already in relation with the construction industry. So my idea was how to develop this into a construction hub. Natural features. The above diagram shows how the natural features are spread across the site. It has got teak tree, mango tree, coconut trees, fig tree, and also there is an interesting island of green patch formed by the existing circulation on the site. Coming to the circulation, the site has primary road on the north side and a tertiary road on the west side. The site has got very gradual slope. The last diagram shows what kind of neighborhood does the site have. On south side the grey area shows the vacant plot and on the north side is the commercial buildings and other residents. The picture down shows the existing condition of the site. Initial ideas and concepts. One idea was how to improve the working environment with respect to ventilation, illumination, noise, rest, pause and effect of it. The other one was how to break the stereotype, as I mentioned before. The third one was the use of materials and structures inspiring the construction community. The other sketches show my initial ideas and the initial zoning, with the retail store and pavilion happening in the north, the training center to the west and the industrial area with the FAB shop and garage to the south. Site planning. As you can see, the site is spread like 2 chunks with a narrow part at the center. Since the site has various angles, it was very hard for me to place every blocks effectively. If you see the site plan with the roof, most of the buildings are overlooking the north. The pavilion on the north side of the site got that organic shape due to the shape of the site and the buildings around it. Apart from the blocks, there are playgrounds and other recreational areas toward the south. If you see the second plan, which is with the ground floor, you can understand the different movements happening on the site. The yellow one shows the service, the red shows the pedestrian and the blue shows the vehicular entry. The diagram on the left shows the initial zoning and planning. Initially I had separate blocks, but due to its poor functionality, I came up with much organized and a connected plan like this. Coming to the design of retail store. So this store is like a supermarket for the construction tools and equipments. This store gives the first impression of the construction hub to someone who passed by the site, as it is located on the north side next to the existing road. Main reason to place it here was accessibility, so that people does not have to come into the site to buy something from the store. The main ideas I had by designing this building were a welcoming building. It should complement the infrastructure inside the site to create a sense of suspense to someone passing by the site. And apart from shopping, it can have an area to display or sell some scrap art done at the DIY workshop. So here the three diagrams at the right shows how the retail store is complementing the interesting pavilion happening behind it. The third diagram shows how the retail store stands up in the front and how people get to see the pavilion happening behind it through the retail store. Due to this, the building has got a massing in which center part open and act as a window of sight to someone passing by. Considering Kerala's rainfall, the building has sloping roof and also louvers present here foster ventilation. Coming to the plan, the store has a retail area where you can pick what to buy. There is a storage space in the ground floor with loading and unloading area. It also has a parking designator only for the store right next to it, other than the common parking area which happens inside the site. In the first floor, it has again retail area as well as a semi-open area where people in the hub can display the scrap art they create in the DIY workshop. The pedestrian entry to the site happens in between this block with the building framing the entry. The render above shows the impression which it creates with the elevation as well as with the organic pavilion happening behind it. This is how it is complementing the infrastructure inside. Construction Skill Development Training Center. This is a center where you can get trained in various construction skills. Since it is an educational block, the design has to foster the learning experience. Here the main activities happen in the workshops and classrooms, and I have placed it in such a way that there is a connection between the classrooms and workshop, so that the faculty can actually point out to something in workshop while teaching in the class. Due to this, the classrooms happen on a higher platform overlooking the workshop happening at a lower level right in the front. You can clearly see this in the section given above. If you observe the schematic plan at the center of the sheet, the red area shows the classrooms happening and the yellow one shows the workshops. All the common activities like the staff rooms, admin happen in the center where two wings of the plan meet. The other idea I had while designing this building was to have green corridors and pockets to have good ventilation and also to have good connection with nature since the site is in Kerala. Some of the schematic diagram shows how the green spaces happen in between the building. The center also has a library which is present in the first floor. The library is the only space in the first floor and it happens right above the common area happening in the center. You can see this in the section given below. The two renders on the right side shows how a workshop is seen from the classroom and how the workshop is seen from outside the building. The two line drawings above gives the picture of the training center. If you observe this drawing, you can see a screen in front of the block which is used as a sunbreaker, which is made up with mangrove tiles. The screen is only placed where the building is exposed to sun. Most of the building overlooks the north side, which provides the good indirect light to the space. Coming to the plan. If we observe the ground floor plan, starting from the central space, you can see a court happening which acts as a welcoming space and also have capacity to be used as a gathering space. Next to the court, the steps leads us to the higher plinth with staff room, classrooms and admin. If we move to the other side of the building from the center, it leads us to the classrooms and workshops. You can also see the interesting green pockets happening in between the building, which acts like a transition space and also provides connection with the nature with respect to ventilation and view. The north side of the building ends with the interesting washroom happening with the courtyard, and south side ends with the construction lab. The brown patch on the south side is an open workshop area where masonry can be taught. Coming to the first floor plan. As I told before, it is only the library. The library can be accessed through the stair from the court. The reason why it is separated is because of the library is not only open for the student but also to the people who are part of the construction industry, like engineers, architects, skilled laborers as well. The above render shows how the mangrove tile screen is shading the corridors and workshops. The drawing below it shows how the mangrove tiles is used as sunbreakers with two C channels on both the sides and a central rod connecting one tile to the another as a support. Next we come to the Pavilion and Welcome Center happening in the center of the site. Pavilion is the most interesting structure on the site and has different character with respect to all other buildings on site. The Pavilion and Welcome Center can be accessed through a common porch happening between them. Once we enter the Pavilion, there are stairs taking us to the higher level on either side, which goes in perspective. The Pavilion has a small court which can host events and workshops surrounded by wide corridor which can be used as an exhibition space. The area below the stair is used as a storage space. In between the court and the corridor, again there is a seating space along the court which is shown in darker color in plan. This is a space which gets connected to Kerala's architectural style of having courtyard with seating space along the. From the rendered images, you can see how the stairs are going in perspective and how the levels are happening inside the pavilion. The first floor plan consists of seating spaces and a small discussion spaces overlooking the court. The section down clearly shows how the levels are happening in the building. This pavilion can accommodate various activities like stage events, exhibition, hands-on workshops, and even people can use it to have small discussions on a higher level. Coming to the FAB Shop. First, I will discuss the idea I had in breaking the stereotype. If you see the schematic sketches on the right side, the first one shows the use of mezzanine in breaking volume. The next one shows how facade and spaces can be broken to relatable proportion in relation with human scale. How the skylight can be used. How to break the volume by having a block like this inside the unit. How the recreation area should be. And the last two diagrams shows how the entire mass is broken with the green coat happening in between. Coming to the plan, the FAB Shop is located on the south side of the site overlooking the north. It has a loading and unloading bay in front, working spaces in the center, and storage space towards the east. Pantry, washrooms and office spaces over the south, and also a stair leading to the mezzanine. Along with all this, FAB Shop has green coat which provides a break to the workers. The FAB shop is connected to the garage with a corridor and a green court, which is a relaxation area for the workers. The garage has storage space on the south and a maintenance area on the north. If you see the plan, it has a lot of spaces which can provide pause or break for the workers in the side, like the green courts and the relaxation areas. Since the plan is overlooking the north, it helps to lit up the spaces with indirect light. From the section above, you can see how the FAB shop is, with the north light, loading unloading bay, the mezzanine and corridors. The second section shows how the FAB shop is connected to the garage with the court happening in between. The render on the right shows how the garage is. Here also I have used sunbreakers, same as the training center. Coming to the DIY workshop. This is a space which can be rented by anyone who is interested in metalworking, woodworking, 3D printing, etc. They can use the equipments here and create furniture themselves. This is also a space where people can create scrap art with the scrap from the fabrication unit. Coming to the plan, the DIY workshop has workstations, storage spaces, semi-open working area, spaces to access the laptop and other electronic devices, and a space for the machineries like 3D printing, etc. That's all I could explain about the construction hub. If you see the buildings, you can understand the use of corridors, verandas, porches, courtyards, sloping roof, which connects to the Kerala's architectural style. Thank you.